All right, and good day, North Texas. Here's a look at your midday forecast. Hopefully, you're having a fantastic one so far. Here's a look at what we've got for this afternoon's forecast. Still on track to be what we were talking about this morning, right around the lower to the upper 80s, really just depending on the location. Further to the north and west, it's going to be a little bit cooler compared to areas to the south and east. As we zoom into your hyperlocal forecast in the immediate DFW county coverage area, right around the 83 to 86 degree range. It's been kind of that way for the last couple of days. So this is why when I mentioned earlier this morning that it's a little bit of a repetitive forecast, that's what we were talking about. It's kind of the same thing. And we even have some rain chances that are going to be very similar as well. Here's a look at your overnight forecast tonight, anywhere from, let's say, the upper 60s into the lower 70s area wide. Hyperlocal view into the DFW county coverage area, right around the upper 60s to lower 70s. So another mild overnight. It's going to be humid once again. Like I said, we got some rain chances today. Now, the rain chances, they're going to still be anywhere from the medium to the high range, and it's going to be a little bit tricky because throughout the day today, not everyone's going to see showers and thunderstorms. But later on tonight, there could be a little bit more coverage just depending on the location. I think Futurecast is still locking onto that potential that we showed you earlier this morning, where we have scattered showers and thunderstorms kind of sporadic throughout the area, mostly during the afternoon, early evening. And then later tonight, we have a little complex of showers and storms that makes its way into parts of the area as well. So we have a couple different rounds to be talking about, zooming into the DFW metro area for today. Again, it's between the medium to the high range. Not everyone's going to see showers and storms this afternoon, but later on, as we head into tonight, maybe a little bit better coverage into portions of your overnight. Some areas could see some totals anywhere between, I'd say, roughly 1 to maybe localized up to 4 inches. Now, not everyone's going to see 4 inches of rain today, but as we've seen over the last, handful of days, over the weekend and parts of yesterday as well, we get these little afternoon pop-ups. They're not area wide, but they're pretty scattered across the region. So now everyone's going to see these storms this afternoon, but as we've seen, they bubble up, they don't really move, they sit over an area for a long period of time, and as they sit over that area, some of those locations could see some heavy rainfall that doesn't really move, and that leads to some localized flash flooding. So now everyone's going to see 4 inches. I think generally speaking, for most areas, it'll be close to 1 to 2. But if you get a couple of these pockets, and let me show you what we're talking about as we zoom into the metro, this was kind of what we showed you this morning. There could be some areas that if it sits over for a long period of time, it doesn't take a whole lot of coverage area wide to lead to this flash flooding concern. So flash flooding may be a possibility. If areas develop over 1 or 2 locations, they don't really move, they're stationary or very slow movement with heavy rainfall, there could be some localized flash flooding. And then we're also going to be talking about some localized amounts as high as maybe 3 to 4 inches of rainfall. So with that being said, let's show you feature scan radar for the remainder of today. Now here's a look at what we got in the corner. Let's look at this afternoon. Couple of pop-up showers and thunderstorms may develop. And then later tonight, this is around 8 o'clock, there's that complex that I was talking about. So some scattered showers and thunderstorms this evening, and then more of a complex pushes in tonight. And you can see this is around 10, 11. Now there is one change compared to earlier that I showed you, and that's going to be the overall coverage. Now keep in mind, Futurescan's not perfect. It's been handling the pop-up activity that we've shown you pretty good the last couple of days. But notice it's a little bit of a change in terms of the coverage, especially for our northern counties. I don't want you to see this and think you're going to be clear of rain or it's going to be very isolated. I still think this is going to be a pretty notable complex of showers and storms that makes its way throughout the area. A little bit less coverage maybe, but keep in mind this isn't perfect, so this could build in eventually and create some issues with that heavy rainfall or not. And notice later tonight, there are better rain chances compared to this afternoon. So this afternoon, kind of the bullet points for this forecast. Now, everyone's going to see showers and storms, but we could see some of those pop-ups like we've seen the last couple of days. Maybe not as widespread in coverage for parts of the area, but it's going to be tricky because if you get any of these slow-moving thunderstorms to develop, they may produce some outflow boundaries. I explained that a little bit earlier this morning. And when those outflow boundaries develop, they act as a trigger mechanism for additional activity. So there could be some of that this afternoon to work with. And then later on this evening into late tonight, maybe early overnight, some scattered showers and thunderstorms start to move into the area. This is going to be your opportunity for more widespread activity across the region. So that's a look at what we've got going on there. We'll keep an eye on it, of course, throughout the day. Stay tuned for the evening update. 7-day forecast, no major changes still shower and thunderstorm activity. And again, as I mentioned this morning, the rain chances today are a little bit tricky. So when you see that 70% PM, that's for the greater coverage today. Afternoon, it's around 30 to 40%. Again, not everyone's going to see that activity in the afternoon, but before midnight, I'd say probably closer to, let's say 9 o'clock to 3 in the morning this afternoon into tonight. That's when we see that widespread activity move closer into the region. So later tonight, 70% coverage. Again, not everyone's going to see that either, but just be mindful we got showers and storms on the way. Continues into Wednesday. Now, the good news is, and looking ahead, Thursday through Saturday, there may be a little bit of a break in the activity. Still think some afternoon pop-ups will be possible pretty much every day, but maybe not as much activity. And then again, on Sunday, maybe some rain chances then. And then looking ahead, not quite fully into the 7-day forecast timeline, but the first week of June, there is the potential, just looking over the models, it's looking like we're going to be in a ridging pattern, which means there may be a little bit of a stretch of weather where it's a lot warmer and a lot drier. We'll have to be watching that. There's a chance that maybe into the second or third week of June, maybe some additional showers and storms. But as we know, the further out you get, the less the less certainty there is and the more uncertainty there is. So we'll keep an eye on that, but looking forward, maybe a little bit of a pattern change going forward. So if you're a fan of warmer temperatures, maybe some good news for you. If you're sick of the rain, some good news for you as well. So we'll have to wait and see what Mother Nature does. That's a look at your midday forecast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and stay tuned throughout the day. You can keep us live 24/7 on your mobile phone or streaming. We're live on YouTube. We're trying to get our apps up and running again. As I said, there's a lot of work and a lot of time, a lot of coding, design. It's also a lot of money too. We're just getting everything built together so we can get those apps up and running. In the meantime, you can find us weather225.com. You can find our streaming on the home tab or the live 24/7 weather page. You can also watch us on YouTube. You can advertise with us this storm season and throughout the year. Contact us today for availability and pricing. Weather225 since 2015.